Dotson has really had a productive camp. I think you guys saw, we put something out the other day. He led us for touchdowns, during camp. He's still undersized. He's got to get bigger and stronger in the weight room, but football comes very natural to him. Things make sense to him. He's able to take things from meetings to the field. He's a guy that we think could factor in for us at some point, and the coaches would be very comfortable and confident with playing him. We'll see how that plays out. Right now we have him slated as yellow, as a guy that we're going to try to play in 4 games at some point, whether that's early or whether it's the middle of the season or late in the season, to solve problems from an injury perspective or whatever it may be. Shorter got dinged up during camp, was really kind of on a roll. Probably see significant action early in the season, but got dinged up and has missed a little bit of time. But I think we're still very, very excited about him. He's big, he's physical. He reminds you a lot of Juwan Johnson. So excited about those 2 guys' future. And then KJ. When you talk to our defensive coaches, we do a lot of kind of interaction between the offense and the defense, and having discussions, having the opposite side of the ball rank the positions. So having the DBs rank the receivers rank the DBs, and so on and so forth. Having discussions as a coaching staff, and when you talk to our defensive coaches about guys that scare them when they got the ball in their hand, KJ is one of those guys at the top of the list. So if we can get him involved on offense and get the ball into his hands, and if we can get the ball into his hands on special teams, that we'd like to be able to do that, because he's an explosive player and he's also been a really good leader. And what I mean by that is maybe not the leader that you think of when I say that, but a guy that brings energy and enthusiasm to practice and to meetings in the locker room, very similar to the way Marcus did for 4 years for us. So I think all 3 of those guys not only are going to have really good years for us this year, but also will have great careers. Excited about their futures.
Derek Lavarse, Wilkes-Barre Times leader.
Hi, James. How are you doing?
Good, Derek. How are you?
I'm great. James, how are you feeling about your depth across the board at defensive line coming out of camp? And where does Shane Simmons fit into that, not being on the depth chart?
Yeah, so excited about our defensive line and really the growth that we've made there in a short period of time. At defensive end, I think we're as good as we've been. Probably the best defensive end unit that I've had in my time as a head coach. I think Shane obviously would be a huge factor into that. He's got a little bit of a he got dinged up a little bit during camp. We do expect him back. How quickly that is unsure at this moment. We'll know more on Thursday. But we feel really good about defensive end. Obviously getting Shane back will take it to a whole nother level, because he had a great spring and had a great summer and a great camp. At defensive tackle, I think we still got some questions there. I think we feel a lot better than we did coming into the camp. I think we feel like we got a lot of depth, but who are the guys that are really going to take on that responsibility and say, we're the 5 guys that are going to play a lot in the rotation, and there's clearly there's been clearly separation. I don't know if there necessarily is with that right now. We'd like there to be at least definitely 2, if not 5 guys that we feel like have separated themselves and take control of that. They're showing all really good signs, but I think the name of the game for us, and what we talk to the players all the time about, is about consistency. And being able to be in the gap that you're supposed to be consistently, being physical and striking your keys consistently, and then making plays when they're there. So we still got some questions that we got to get answered there. But to be honest with you, by this point we feel good about it, but we won't completely know until we get out there under the lights.
Mark Woodbridge, Allentown Morning Call.
Hi, James. How are you?
Good, Mark. How are you?
Good, thanks. The offensive line, did you settle on the question marks that you had going into the season, at least from the perspective of 5 starters, and then the depth behind them, at least, like a 2 deep, fully formed?
Yeah, I think right now we're very comfortable with the 6 guys that we have listed. Wright and Fries. That'll probably be a game day decision, but the reality of it is we feel like we can play and play well with either one of those guys. Neither one have completely separated themselves from the other, and a lot of times when that happens, you know, you're concerned because you're not sure if you have one starter. I actually think we have two. You know, obviously, both of them have started a bunch of games here, and we've been able to win, you know, win bowl games and high-level Big Ten games with both of those guys playing. So feel good about those six. You know, and then I think, you know, we got, you know, a combination after that we feel good about. We feel good about Thorpe, we feel good about Simpson, we feel good about Moran, and we feel good about Des Holmes. But I don't know if it's necessarily purely too deep. I think we still have some moving parts, you know, based on some guys going down, just to ensure that we get the best 5 guys on the field from an experience standpoint.
Frank Bodani, York Daily Record.
Hi James, how's it going for you?
Good, Frank, how are you?
Great, thank you. Your linebackers, the three of the young guys, Micah, Jesse, and Ellis, how much, you know, how have they done? How much do you think they're going to be pushing for time the first couple of weeks? And just secondly, the loss of not having Manny in the linebacker room, can you just speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, a couple things. I think at linebacker, I think you're going to see a lot of those guys. I think they're going to get a lot of reps. I don't think there's, again, a huge gap between our ones and our twos. So I think you're going to see, you know, maybe the twos get, you know, close, if not the same amount of reps as the ones at a lot of those positions. I think Cam Brown's probably a guy that's, you know, differentiated himself and separated himself a little bit from the pack. You know, and then there's a gap, you know, between, you know, maybe his backups. I think Coe has done a really nice job. Has played a lot of football for him, and I think Mike is making a strong push there. And then I think, you know, Jan between Ellis and Lucetta, I think there's going to be a strong push there, and you're going to see a lot of guys rotating and getting time. You know, once again, it's like a lot of things that, you know, that come out and become public. Number one, we love Manny. We want nothing but success for him and his future. And you know, and I think Manny has a very, very bright future. But you know, for us, we had been kind of working, you know, with this anyway. Again, there's a lot of details of this matter that you guys are aware of, but it really hadn't changed a whole lot for us, you know, at this point in the season.